Hello! I am freaking excited to see you ladies. How are we all doing? How's it going? Okay, I'm just gonna open this up. Oh, I forgot to. I'll pop in a note about this today, but if you're catching this live, definitely say hello. I know a lot of you, depending on the time change, will be catching this on the replay, and that's totally cool. It's going to be freaking amazing no matter what, so don't worry if you can't catch it live. Say hello if you're popping on. Oh, another thing, because I'm going to forget. I'm going to do a separate post in the group about this, but I would really freaking love for you guys. Hey, Megan. I would love for you guys, as some of you have already done, to just pop in to this space and say hello, because this is a community. This isn't just me talking to you guys. I want this to really be a community where we can all get to know one another. Hey, Emily. And support each other, really, right? Because I know when I first started off, I had no fucking clue, right? I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really meet any other people that were starting a business, especially an online business, until I started to, until I started to invest in courses and coaches and all of masterminds and all that sort of stuff. But at the very beginning, I was incredibly alone, incredibly lost, and it was really hard, right? It's really hard because I don't know about you guys, but when I first started, when I decided to do this crazy idea, and start a business, and an online one at that, most people kind of thought I was a little bit crazy. And that doesn't change, just a heads up, but you stop caring. And that's the beautiful thing. And we'll talk a little bit more about that hey, Jennifer, we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the training. But long story short, because I could talk about everything for ages with you guys, I want you guys to pop into the group on, just do a separate post introducing yourselves, saying hey, letting us know where you're at in terms of, if you just have a crazy idea that you haven't really thought much about in terms of what you want to start up, or maybe you have started a business but you're feeling a bit lost and you don't know what to do. I would love for you just to kind of pop in, introduce yourself, tell us something about you, and let us know where you're at so we can all get to know you, really, and just be able to support you. Because I'm going to be in this group, it's not just like a pop in for the odd strategy and send you on your way. Like this, I'm going to be taking you guys through some really fucking epic things that have changed my life and my business dramatically. And those things aren't surface level, going to be completely upfront. And honestly, starting a business is the most challenging thing I have ever done, because it's been the biggest bout of personal work I've ever done, right? It is so much personal development, especially when you're starting a business based on purpose, as I know all of you are, because we're usually starting something because it has changed our life in some way, right? And when we're starting up a business that's like a solo entrepreneur or a wellpreneur, or you're a nutritionist, whatever it is, your business is you, right? Really, you are your business. And because you're your business, every step of the way is going to be incredibly challenging if you don't start to work on your own self-worth and what you know to be true and what your message is more than anything. And that's really where I went wrong at the very beginning of my business, because I wasn't prepared. I went in thinking that I was a nutritionist and I was also a yoga instructor. So I was like, I'm going to help people with their nutrition. I'm going to help them, especially at the very beginning. I just wanted to help them feel good and have more energy and be healthy. And I very much kind of put my business separate from myself. And my whole business, even though it was me, was under very much a veil. Oh, I'm glad that makes sense to you, Jennifer. It was very much like it was a huge veil, right? I was wearing a veil and it wasn't actually authentically me. And I did that because I was fucking scared, right? I was completely scared to put myself out there and to show up 100% as me, but it wasn't until I did that things actually start to work. Anywho, that was just a bit of a preface. So that's why I want you guys to be able to introduce yourselves in here, because I want you guys to feel really fucking comfortable, because I'm going to challenge you guys to do things that are uncomfortable, right? And you are going to be 10 times more likely to do those things and fucking get your business off the ground and land clients 10 times faster if you're going to be willing to put yourself out there. And that's what I want this to be. I want this to be a really incredible, safe community where we can all talk about our challenges, where we can support one another, and where you feel safe to tell us the scary shit that you are maybe afraid of doing, but we're going to hold you accountable to doing that anyways. Sound good? Make sense? Cool. Cool. Erin's here. Hey, Erin, Jennifer. Awesome. I'm so excited to have you guys on here. So that is what I want you guys to do. You don't have to do it now. Come back in later, introduce yourself, and let us know, why are you here? How can we help you? What's your biggest struggle at the moment? And we'll do what we can to get you past that. Awesome. So day one, I really wanted to start from the absolute basics with this training. So regardless of where, I don't know where you guys are in your business. I know a lot of you are just starting. I know a lot of you are holistic nutritionists that study at the same school as me, which is fucking cool. And that makes me so happy. I know, most of you are either nutritionists. I know there's a kinesiologist in here. We're all fucking soul-centered, purpose-driven women, which is who I serve. That is who I'm here for. And I wanted to start this training off with helping you to get insanely clear on exactly what you want your business to be, right? Because we want to make sure, and this is like a mistake that I did, that I learned, I finally went back and fixed after working with coaches and doing lots of programs and all that sort of thing. But this is the thing. So our business, we need to first accept, as I was kind of chatting about earlier, that really, your business is an extension of you. And that's a fucking epic thing, because you already, therefore, have something that nobody else has, and that separates you from whatever market you're in, right? Because I think so many of us go into this thinking, this was my thoughts, and I know a couple of you have expressed this, that who am I? I don't have that much experience. I haven't been doing this for years. Who am I to come into an industry where there's already heaps of women already doing this and already doing epic shit? Where do I fit in? Is it too saturated? Should I even follow this through? Can I ever make money from this? Those are the thoughts that go on in our head at the beginning, right? Give me a little love heart, a little something if that's ever popped into your head. This is the beautiful thing. When you realize that your business is really you. You are your business is you. You already have so many fucking qualities, gifts, and talents that make you the perfect person for someone to help you, right? So when we can start to really cut through that, you can stop fucking second guessing yourself and thinking, who am I to do this? But I don't have as many followers as her. I don't have the experience that she does. Maybe not, and probably not, especially when you're first starting out, right? But neither did those people. And you're probably approaching this. There's so many things that you offer. All of your unique gifts, all of your own talents, your personality, the way you explain things, that is so unique to you. And nobody else has that. Nobody else has that. So we need to make sure that from the very start, from the absolute get-go, you are showing up as you. Because if you're not, you're going to blend in. And that's when you're not going to get your message seen, and you're not going your copy and your communication will be crap, because it will be the same as everyone else's, right? So we need to get really clear and accept the fact, because I was really resistant to this at the beginning, of showing up as me, because I was just afraid. I was simply and purely afraid of what other people would think, of all of that stuff. And I know Megan, I love you, because I was exactly like you, expressed this yesterday. I actually wrote, you inspired a very powerful, shall we say, post that I did on my Facebook page after that. Because, yeah, basically exactly what I said. But you have unique gifts. You were put on this planet for a reason. You need to show up as you from the get-go. So that's one big thing I want to make sure I really get across in this training. The other really big thing that I didn't look at the beginning, hey Lucy, nice to meet you, lovely. The biggest thing that I really want you guys, especially those of you that are just starting out and maybe, you know, haven't put together anything for your business, which is totally okay, is that you have to get incredibly clear on what you want. And I know that's a big question, but what you want your life to look like. And this is one, hey, so lovely to meet you, Lucy. What you want your life to look like. And this is one thing that really shifted my business very quickly at the beginning. I first started my nutrition business and I originally started seeing people in person. And then I quit my 9-to-5 pretty quickly early on, started teaching full time, and then really fucking quickly realized how it was impossible for me to take any time off and ever travel. And travel is something that is massively important to me. I've traveled ever since I was like 19. I live overseas from where my family lives. So very quickly on, I realized that like, no, me having a business where I have to physically be there and physically serve people one-on-one is not what I want. And that was a huge thing that drove me to be online. And I feel like a few of you are in the same boat. So we really need to look at from the beginning, because there's no sense building this business if at the end of the day, you're going to feel just as strangled and stifled as you do in your 9-to-5, right? Or whatever jobs you've had before. There's no purpose designing a business where you're going to not be happy with what the outcome looks like. So we really need to look at exactly what you want your life to look like at the very end. So you need to do some work on that and really think about that, right? I'm going to pop some journaling questions and a bit of a worksheet for you guys to do after this as well, so you don't have to frantically take notes. But start to look at, do I want to travel? Do I have kids? Do I want a huge company? Do I want it to just be me? Do I want to have employees? Are you building it up to be something massive? And there's a hair in my face. Am I building this up to be something that's like Google? Or do I want a small team? You really have to start to look at, do I want to be managing like 5 people? Or do I want it to just be me and a couple others? Really start to look at, what do you want your life to look like? At the end of the day, what do you enjoy doing? And is it going to be managing other people? Obviously, there's always heaps of stuff you can outsource, but do you want to be tied to something? Is it a business that you're starting up because you want to sell it later down the road? I have a feeling probably not, because all of you are very purpose driven. But we need to put some thought into this, because I see this a lot, and I did this. We start a business, we start to get some, momentum, we pick up clients, we book out our schedules, all of that. And then suddenly we feel just as strangled as we did in our 9-to-5s. And that's not fun. You're doing this probably because you want a bit more freedom, because it's something you're passionate about. So we need to be strategic in an aligned way from the beginning to make sure that we're building this up to actually be something that we want our lives to fucking look like at the end of the day, right? Does that make sense, ladies? Let me know what you're thinking. And feel free to pop any questions as I'm talking. I'll probably save a little bit of time at the end of this. I'm going to try my best to keep these short, because I can talk to you forever. So I'll either save some time at the end for questions or pop them as we kind of go. And I'll either answer them separately or we'll talk about it tomorrow. Cool. So start to look like, and here's a really good way to do that, because I know at the beginning it feels overwhelming. You're like, oh, I need to think about like, oh God, no, Lisa's telling me I need to know what I want my life to look like 3 years from now, and that all feels too overwhelming. No, not necessarily, right? Your business is probably going to evolve. Mine has massively, but you have to be willing to look at what feels right for you. Otherwise, you're just fucking running around with a blindfold on and basically just throwing things at a wall, seeing what sticks. And that's not purposeful, and that's not aligned, and that's not intentful or strategic in any way, right? So one way you can do that is start to really fucking unfilter yourself and start to ask yourself, okay, at the end of the day, like, you don't even have to think of, you can take your business out of it if you want, and even start to look at an imperfect day. If there was, like, you know, no restrictions, if anything were possible, what would my days look like? How would I like to spend my day? If I could make money doing anything, if I could be supported, what would that actually look like? And I'll pop these out as journaling prompts, and I want you guys to answer that and see what comes up for you. Because sometimes when we're just sitting here talking about it out loud, thinking about it in our head, your brain is naturally filtering you, right? Because your fears are playing up, your limiting beliefs might be butting in saying, oh, but that's not possible. How am I going to make that happen? How is that going to work? Oh, you know, this person told me this and blah, blah, blah. So no, we're cutting all that shit out of it. Take some time after this live stream, take out your journal and write down, if anything were possible, if I could make money doing anything, any way I wanted, what would my ideal day look like? And start to write it down from there. And that is your starting point. And that is 100% enough to get started on. Does that make sense, lovelies? I'm a little sip of my iced almond milk coffee because it is steamy. That's okay. Absolutely. Yeah, you're so welcome. Sounds good. So that is the first thing. We need to get absolutely insanely clear on what we want our lives to look like. And tomorrow, this is going to be really useful because this is going to help you to start, because maybe, I know some of you have like a physical business. I know there's one girl in here that has rented out a, good, I'm glad that makes sense, has rented out a office, and like, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever fucking feels good to you, right? That's the whole purpose. That is the whole purpose. And that's been like something that I struggled to learn. I was constantly looking for the right way to do it. I was like, no, but there's got to be this, like, because that's what everyone sells, right? There's got to be this 7 steps, proven strategies to get your business off the ground, right? There's a perfectly lined up process that you need to follow. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. Are there things that you need to do? Yes. But doing them arbitrarily is not going to work because I've tried it. I've done all of the 7-step strategies and they don't necessarily fucking work unless it's something that you want at the end of the day. And that leads me to one last point on that. The reason this is so important is because subconsciously, if you have in your mind that, you know, okay, no, I want to take on, you know, this is something I did at the beginning. Nope, I want to make sure that I'm just doing one-off sessions, $100 each. I'm totally okay with taking on 10 to 20 clients a month. That's all good. But if you actually stop and look at what those days look like, you are going to release, it's a real struggle to not package your programs and sell them and make enough money. Because if we do the math, you're going to be serving so many fucking people and barely making ends meet. I did this at the beginning because in the beginning, I guess one part of my brain was like, I want to do this because I want the freedom. I want to be able to travel. I want to, you know, be able to do yoga at 9 a.m. if I feel like it. All of those things, right? All the reasons why I wanted to start off a business, and more so just because I felt like it was something I was meant to do. That was my idea. But on the other hand, I was like, nope, I'm just going to charge $90 for a 90-minute session because I don't have any experience, and I'll just need to take in 10 to 20 clients. Perfect. I was self-sabotaging myself from even putting myself out there to do that because subconsciously I knew that I'd be fucking working my ass off 10 times more than I would have been in my 9 to 5, and that my daily life wouldn't have looked very good. So if we don't get clear on what exactly we want from the very beginning, your incredibly intelligent brain will find ways to self-sabotage you before you even know it. Does that make sense, you guys? Are you feeling me? Because deep down, you're going to have this fear that like, and this was a huge thing for me. I was like, but I'm already working so much. How could I possibly take on more clients if I'm already maxing myself, working obscene amounts of hours a day? You're going to self-sabotage and not get in more clients because you don't want to have to burn yourself into the ground. Does that make sense, you guys? Give me a little something. Who's on here? Megan and Emily. Sweet. Does that make sense? So we need to make sure that we're being consciously strategic from the beginning with our businesses. And that means looking at what we actually want our day-to-day life to look like. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to start to build up this, business, structured around the idea that you're going to take on X amount of clients or you want to grow it to this amount, but at the end of the day, you don't actually want your work days to look like that, then you're going to be self-sabotaging, or you're going to find ways for it not to work from the very beginning. Good. I'm glad that makes sense, Megan. So that's a really big thing. That's a huge, huge, huge thing. And how long have we been on here? I want to try to keep this not to be... Any questions? Let's pause there for questions before I decide to introduce more concepts. Any questions so far, you guys? Does that make sense? Megan says yes. Cool. So I'm going to pop some journaling questions for you guys to work through today. So I want you to get really clear on one, what do you want your day-to-day work life to actually look like? That is really important. And that's the whole reason we're doing this, right? Because you want the freedom to be able to maybe pick your kids up from school, or to travel, or to take holidays with your husband, whatever it is. You want that freedom from the get-go. So we need to make sure that we're designing that from the very beginning. That's the biggest thing. Number 2, let's dive into that today. So I want you guys to think of like your why for this. Like, just out of curiosity, Megan and Emily, do you guys have, I know Megan, you have a pretty general good idea of what you want to do. Emily, do you have a business idea, or do you already have it off the ground? I'd love to know, because then I can talk more specifically to you two. Totally cool if you're like driving or doing something while you're listening to this. But let me know. Megan, have you, I know you want to do health coaching. Have you gotten any more clarity or specific around exactly what kind? Cool if you haven't. It'll just let me know where to start with this. How weird is this lighting? It keeps dimming in and dimming out. That's cool. Okay, so second thing, we want to get clear on why we're doing this. So one aspect of that is how you want your days to look. Because we design our business around the life that we want, not the other way around. If we were to design it the other way around, then we may as well go get a 9-to-5. I love it, Emily. You have your exam in 10 days. Amazing. I love it with PCOS. That is so fucking needed, Emily. That is an incredible specification to look on. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited to help you get started. This is exciting. Yay. You're gonna nail the exam. You're at, are you at CSNN, Emily? I think you might be. Cool. So I'm gonna say that again, because I think this is really important. We design our businesses around the life that we want, not the other way around. Good. Yeah, good. Yeah, you are at CSNN. You'll nail the exam. Don't worry. Don't even worry about it. You've got this. You've totally, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, by the way. I honestly remember thinking that it was easier than I thought it would be. I do. I have it all in my head. Need to get it down on paper. Okay, cool. Awesome, Megan. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it really helps to brain dump because it just circles in our brain forever. I know you know that. So just take some time to do a brain dump. I did that with this new thing, right? I did that really recently. You're so welcome, Emily. Yeah, I did that recently with this whole new thing that I've just started, and it's been fucking awesome. Awesome. That's so good. Okay, so I'm going to say that a third time because I think that is so important. The first part that we talked about today, really getting clear on what you want your fucking life to look like. And then we design our businesses around that, because that's the whole point that we're doing this. You're not doing this to be more, you know, more strangled and more stressed and more, you know, feel like everything is harder than it is. You may as well get a 9 to 5, and that's boring, right? Yeah, I would love that, Megan. Please do. So we want to make sure that we get really clear on what we want our day-to-day life to look like, because that is huge. I'm going to take my charger out because it's been really annoying. There we go. So that's the first thing. And then second, we want to start to look at our why, because this is so important. And it's really easy to skim over top of this. It's really easy to skim over top of this. And at the beginning, I had a why, but it wasn't, I had a why. I think it's just changed, to be honest. And that happens, right? And I think that's important to know, because when I was doing this work at the very beginning, once I figured out that I needed to do this after I started my business, I felt that this was tricky to do because I felt that it would pigeonhole me to commit to it forever. Does that make sense? But what I'm realizing is, because your business is an extension of you, because I know you guys are so heart-centered and purpose-driven, because your business is an extension of you, you're going to evolve. You're going to evolve fucking massively through this process, let me tell you. It is, I know I said this, but it's literally the most intense self-development course I've ever done. Is running a business, by far. And I've been practicing meditation and yoga since I was quite young. So it's going to challenge the shit out of you. It's going to grow you so much as a person. So know that this will change, and you're not pigeonholing yourself by going really deep into it. We just need to look at what's true for you right now. And it's okay if that changes. So if you're like me and you're commitment phobe, I wanted to add that in because I think that will help you. So you need to look at your why. Like, why the fuck are you doing this? And I want you to go really deep with this. Yes, you want freedom, right? Yes, you want freedom. Yes, you want the ability to make more money. Yes, you want to help people. And yes, you want to serve and all of those things. But I'm guessing, especially, this is with anything. I know you guys are like me. There's a reason you're drawn to health coaching or nutrition, right? There's a reason you're drawn to it. And that reason is it's probably transformed you in some way, right? And I'd love for you guys to even share that on this live stream. It's probably transformed you in some way. You've probably had like some sort of transformation that whatever you're passionate about has helped you get through. Am I right? I'd love to hear from you guys. I think I am. Because you're like me. And I know how like you guys want to serve. So Emily, like, have you dealt with PCOS? I'm going to take a guess and say that you have. Because this is the thing. We feel called to share things that have helped us and changed our lives so profoundly, right? If you're fucking heart-centered and purpose-driven, you feel the exact same way. You feel called to share something because it's changed your life dramatically. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. I was exactly the same. And you need to really really hone in on that why. And like, why do you feel so called to share this? Why do you feel like you can't shut up about this? What is your message? And this is like, we'll go deeper into this as this training progresses, but this is really the root of it, right? Why is this so important to you? And yeah, like what I want you to even like I'll write out some journaling questions for you guys to delve into this so you can get it out of your head and get it onto paper and get a bit clear about it. But it has to be a why that like, and yeah, Emily, wow, totally lovely. That's challenging. There's so much you can do nutritionally. And like, there's so many women that struggle with this and it's not dealt from a holistic way. So you have it's such a great space. I cannot wait to hear about what comes out of this. I'm so excited for you guys. Yeah, exactly. I knew you guys were like me. I knew that this was connected to you. You want to really hone in on that why and that connection. Because yes, we want the freedom, right? Yes, we want the ability to do what we want to do, to share from our heart and make money. And yes, that is 100% available to you, and you deserve to do that. You're worthy of that. But honing in on your why is so important. It has to honestly almost make you cry, to be completely honest. Like, and my why has changed a little bit over the years, but there's always those things that stay consistent, right? Here's why it's so important to focus on your why. One, because this shit is hard. I'm not going to pretend, right? Starting up a business, running a business is hard. It is not for everyone. It is challenging on a personal level. It's challenging. It's more challenging on a personal level than anything, to be honest, but it is challenging, right? It's going to stretch you. It's going to challenge you. And if you're not really connected to why you're doing this, it's going to be really fucking easy to give up. And the more connected you can be to your why from the very get-go, the more fucking driven, the more all in, the more connected and honest and aligned you're going to be with your message, and the faster you're going to grow clients and the faster you're going to make money. It's just simply that true, because people are connected to your energy. When you, like, nobody wants to buy anything from anyone who's just like, so I have this thing. It's really cool. I'm really excited about it. You should buy it. Right? Like, that's not something that is going to work. So you have to be so connected to your why, because when you connect to your why, you're going to have fucking incredible energy. You're going to show up. You're going to be so passionate. You're going to allow yourself to not filter what you actually want to say, and you're going to be able to speak from the heart, which is what is going to connect to people and what is going to draw in people who are like you and who love you and who fucking show up and want to buy from you because they know that you are their people, right? That is so important. So it's really important because you need to stay connected to it, because shit's going to get hard. And if you're not soul connected to it, if it's not something that really hits home, it's going to be really easy to give up. And it's going to be easier to procrastinate and buy into, you know, the fears and the beliefs that are telling you it's too hard, or you can't do it, or maybe you're not cracked up for this, and all of that sort of shit. So it is going to be so essential to set these things up from the get-go, you guys. You will save yourself fucking months of struggle. Months of struggle and questioning and crying on the bathroom floor. Trust me, I've been there. So is that helpful so far, you guys? I'm going to pop out some journaling questions for you to help to work through these two factors, these two things. So one, what do you want your life to look like? How can we design your business around that? And two, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why this, right? And if you're still a bit unsure about exactly what you want your, because honestly, we want to start to look at, I don't like using the word niche because it's so overused, but we want to start to look at like who your people are, because they're not everyone, and that's perfect.